Since October last year, the indiscriminate massacre by Israeli authorities has claimed more than 40,000 Palestinian civilian lives in Gaza Strip, including many children and women, and thus exposed a nation to a complete extinction. The UN exists to prevent the recurrence of the scourge of war that had inflicted untold sufferings to mankind. It is really shameful and deplorable that such act against humanity has persisted for 1 year. It is highly imaginable that one state is immune to any censure and sanction, even after committing such a horrible massacre. This is entirely due to the patronage of the U.S., a permanent member of the UN Security Council. The U.S. has vetoed UNSC resolutions on bringing peace to the Middle East on as many as 5 occasions, overriding the wishes of the international community to see the ethnic cleansing stopped by its ally. This is how the U.S. has discredited the authority of the UN and incited crime against humanity. This notwithstanding, the U.S. is branding as a threat and provocation the legitimate exercise of the right to self-defense by a sovereign state, which did not do any harm to anyone. As for the Ukrainian situation dragged on for almost 3 years by the US and Western countries, they are shifting the responsibility on other countries, even though it was the result of eastward expansion of NATO and provision of lethal equipment, amounting to astronomical sum of money to their ally. The reason behind the US's abusive invectives about the normal developmental relations between other countries is in fact to vindicate its unprincipled political and military support to its ally and justify the forming of military alliances on a global scale. Justice or injustice is judged according to whether the actor is pro-US or an independent country, and the United Nations is misused for political aims of an individual country. Such reality should no longer be tolerated and allowed. I once again express a serious concern with a strong denunciation over the fact that peace and security in many parts of the world are seriously threatened, and the spirit of the UN Charter is debased by the arbitrariness and high-handedness of a single arrogant permanent member state of the UN Security Council. I also express deep condolences to the Palestinian victims of the Israeli genocide and their bereaved families, and extend unchanged support and solidarity to the Syrian people in their struggle to regain the occupied Golan Heights and safeguard territorial integrity. Mr. President, the reform of the present global governance regime should be oriented to realizing impartiality, equity, and justice. The United Nations will regain its sacred image only when it strictly adheres to the principles of sovereign equality, non-interference in internal affairs, impartiality, and objectivity, and eliminates high-handedness and arbitrariness, as well as biased double standards practices in all activities in conformity with the purposes and principles enshrined in the UN Charter.
Download Tribun X sekarang, menghadirkan lokal menjadi Indonesia.